Probably the coolest thing about using Google Drive is that Google is constantly updating and making things more user-friendly, making things work better. So here I am making this tutorial today. Tomorrow there could be 5 new features that are going to be even better that won't be featured on here. But we're going to just start out looking at Google Docs. I'm going to go into the folder that I want to use so that I can create a new Google Doc. And so I'm going to go to New, Google Doc, and since I have shared this folder, it's asking me for permission to create this in the shared folder. And of course I told it yes. Now the first thing I'm going to do whenever I get in here is rename my document. So this is going to be Enhancing Google Docs. And I'm going to click OK. Alright, so there's some very basic features going on here with Google Docs. You know, if you're used to editing in any kind of a word processing program, you're familiar with these. You know how to center things, how to create any kind, you know, of text with color and so on. One thing that I have found to be very helpful whenever I'm using a Google Doc is putting in the table. Now this really works very similarly to the way it does in any other word processing program. I just tell it how many fields I want in my table, so now here it is. And then I can stretch it out and, you know, move things around as needed in here. Recently there was a change to the way that iPads see tables in Google Docs, because before you couldn't see them whenever you would open them up on an iPad in the app, but that has been updated and changed, and so now it works and it's great. So I could just type my text in here. I'll just type in names here. And I'm just hitting the tab button to move over to the next and then going down. Now I can also add images to my table, and I could add images down here, it doesn't really matter, but I found that if I'm going to add an image, putting it in a table helps me to stay pretty organized. So I would just go to Insert, Image, and then I can upload one here. I can click on one. I can, let's just take this one right here, just a random thing that I had happened to be on my desktop, and it's uploading, and whenever it comes up I'll select it and it's already going straight in there. And then I can also ask Google to search for images. So the way I would do that is just like this. Here we go. Let's see what comes up. There, the United States of America. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to hit select, and it will insert it right where my cursor was. You can see it working. Okay, so something else that is a huge benefit is that if you saw right underneath the images, you can also insert an equation. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to build an equation here. Okay, now keep in mind, I am not a math teacher. Whatever I do is not going to make any sense. So I can put in these miscellaneous operations here, and you can see that I actually have a divide symbol instead of having to use the backslash like I have had to in the past. So I could put in something like 12 divided by 3 and then equals. Oh, I put in the plus sign because I hit shift when I did the equals, and then I could go on. I hit return or enter, and then if I wanted to add another one that maybe is a little bit more complicated right here where it says new equation. You can see here I have some math operations, and these are the kinds of things that you cannot really create on any kind of word processing software, because these are symbols and these don't show up on your keyboard. So let's say that if I wanted to use the square root of 16, I could put that in there and then my students would have that. Okay, so that is also a benefit. So now I can also do things like change the background color. The way that I do that is I go to File, I go down here to Page Setup, and then where it says Page Color, I can make it a nice pretty light blue, hit OK, and then it looks like this. Okay, so if you should ever need to do that, you can. Now, I could also link any of these items to a website. So let's say I take this one here, this is my name, I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to come up here and click on this insert link. You can see that it's giving me a shortcut, which is Command K, or it should be Control K if you're using a Windows machine. I could also go to Insert Link. And the cool thing about this is, look what it's doing. It's Google searching my name. And so I could just link it to these items that it's already pulling up. It's looking for things that have my name in them within my docs, also pretty cool. So I could link it to another doc. And in fact, I think I'm going to just type in my website here and see how it's searching. I'm not even going to finish typing it. I'm going to just let it load, and it found it. So the About page, I'm sure, has my name on it whenever I go to my website. So I'm going to hit Apply. And now if I click on this, click on that, that will open up the page that I've linked that to. Okay, so those are all pretty standard items, and they're all very, very good. One thing that I recently used that I loved was the bookmark feature. So I'm going to show you that very quickly. If I go back here to my drive, and I stored that in my Character Ed lesson, and it was for this unit plan that I just created. So I'm scrolling down here. Alright, and here we go. It says individually students will use the first column of the attached knowledge question research worksheet. Okay, so that's linked, it's blue, so I'm going to click on that, and then look right here where it says bookmark ID. So I'll click there, and then it jumps down. Here's my bookmark, and this is bookmarked in that same document. Okay, so I'm still in that document, and I've got this bookmark there, so that way I can go back to it. So let me show you how we created that. So here's our evaluation, and let me scroll up here. Our evaluation, if you could see, had 3 different rubrics. We've got this one, we've got this one here, and then we've got our last one. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to get to my rubrics easier. I'm going to start here on this one, and I've just highlighted something because I have to highlight something, and I click Insert, and I scroll all the way down to Bookmark. Okay, now it gives me that bookmark, okay, and it's there. So now if I come back up to my evaluation, I can highlight that. I'm going to go to Insert, and instead of the link, actually I am going to click on the link there, and it says, do you want to go to your bookmarks? Yes. And here's my different bookmarks. This one here, was the one that I wanted, and I hit apply. So now if I click on this one, it takes me down there. Okay, so let's do that one again very quickly. I'm going to remove this bookmark, and I just have to highlight something, insert bookmark, it puts it in right there, and then I'm going to go up to where I want that to bookmark, highlight that. First of all, I need to remove that. Highlight that, insert link, tell it to look for my bookmarks, and this is the one I want. There isn't anything on there. That's really the reason why I know right now that's the one I want. But if you had highlighted any kind of text, the text would be showing right here, so that would tell you where you're going. So let's say that your students were writing a very long paper and it had a table of contents. You could bookmark your table of contents to where they belong, because you could put a heading at the top of the page just by clicking on that and hitting apply. And that's it.